Hello my crochet friends, this is Sarah from Ned and Mimi, and in this video we are going to crochet one of these cute little shamrocks. So these are absolutely perfect for St. Patrick's Day, for making a garland, or maybe even a brooch for attaching on to your jacket. So they are super easy, and you will have a shamrock done in less than 10 minutes. So let's go ahead now and get started. So you can really use any yarn and a suitable hook, and ideally in green. So I am using a worsted weight cotton yarn here. This is Drops Paris. It's 100% cotton, and I'm using a 5mm hook. So let us get started. So we're going to begin with a magic circle. So I'll just take my yarn with the tail facing towards me and just wrap it around like so. Then I'll insert my hook, pull up a loop, take out those fingers, and now I'm ready to get started. So I'm going to begin by chaining 3. And now I'm going to work into my magic circle, working over that tail as well. So my first stitch here is going to be a puff stitch. So to do that, I'll yarn over, insert my hook into the circle, yarn over and pull up a long loop, yarn over again, insert it in, pull up another long loop. So now I've got 5 loops on my hook, and then do that once more until I have 7 loops on my hook. Now this is the trickiest bit, but we can do it. So we'll yarn over and then pull all the way through those loops. So it is a little bit tricky with cotton yarn, and that is the first puff stitch done. And then just to secure it, we're going to do a little chain one. So make that chain as tight as you possibly can actually, and that's going to make it a little bit neater. So let's keep going. Now we're going to chain 3. Then I'm going to do a single crochet also into that circle. So in we go. And I'm actually just going to pull the tail a little bit there to make my life easier. We won't pull it all the way closed yet. Now I'm going to chain 3 again. And now it's time for another puff stitch also into the circle and also working over that tail. So we'll yarn over, insert the hook, pull up a loop, do one more, do a third one, and then yarn over and pull through all of the stitches, and then do a nice tight chain 1 just to secure the top of that puff. So let's chain 3 again, do another single crochet into the circle, chain 3 again, and now time for one more puff stitch. So yarning over once, twice, 3 times, pulling through, and then chaining 1. Okay, so we're almost there. So you can kind of see that our shamrock is starting to take shape. So we'll chain 3 and then finally finish off this round with a single crochet back into that circle. So you can just give a little pull there. Don't close the hole up completely yet, because we are going to be working into it later as well. So there we go. That's our first round, and we have our teeny tiny little shamrock. So let's go ahead now and make it a little bigger. So first of all, I'm going to just slip stitch into that circle just to finish off that round completely. Now I'm actually going to be working the stem of the shamrock. So I'll chain 7, and now we're just going to slip stitch back along that chain until we get back to the middle circle again. So I'm going to skip the first chain from the hook and start working into this second chain here. So just inserting our hook through the chain. This slip stitch is also a little tricky, and we'll just keep going all the way back along, and we'll have a total of 6 slip stitches in this little row. Okay, there we go. Now, as we did with the previous round, I'm just going to finish off here with a slip stitch into that circle again. So in we go. Okay, so there is our little stem done. Now our final round is just going to make our shamrock a little bit bigger and just round out those edges. So if we have a look here, you'll see that we have 6 chain spaces there from our first round. So we're going to be working into those. So let me just pop my hook back in here again. Now I'm going to go straight into that first chain space. So I'm going to insert my hook in there and do a single crochet. Now I'm going to do a half double crochet, then a double crochet, then I'm going to chain 1. That's just going to give us a nice round edge, double crochet, half double crochet, and you can probably guess what the next one is going to be. It's a single crochet. Okay, so we're just adding a little petal here to this bottom corner, and we're just going to repeat that sequence in each of the chain spaces all the way around. So let's do it once more. Into the next chain space here, we will do single crochet, half double crochet, double, chain 1, double, just untangle there a little bit, and finish off my double, half double crochet, and then a single. Okay, so that's pretty much what we need to do for the rest of the round. So I'll just go ahead and work that sequence in each of the chain spaces, and then our shamrock will be done. Okay, so we're almost back to the start now. So the final step is just to slip stitch into that middle circle once more. So we'll go ahead and do that. And then I'm just going to pull on that tail from the start, and now we'll close up that hole nice and tight so that our center is nice and neat. And that's it. So I'm just going to grab my scissors, cut my yarn, and pull all the way through. And at the back, I'm actually just going to knot those 2 ends together once before I weave them in. Okay, so there we go. So that's our shamrock. So you can just give it a little stretch there and flatten everything out, but I just think it is super cute. So you have a few options now. You can get a safety pin like this one and just attach it onto the back here, and that makes a lovely little brooch. Or you can take all of your shamrocks and just join them together along the top to make a garland. So I just wanted to show you how I am using all of these little shamrocks to make a garland. So I've already started it, and I have just done a simple chain with my off-white yarn and then attached it onto the back of each shamrock. So a few things to note here. So number 1 is I am using a smaller hook than the one I did for the shamrocks, and that's just because I wanted a really nice neat chain. So I'm using a 4mm hook with my worsted weight yarn. So at the start of my chain here I did 30 chains, and then I did 15 in between each shamrock, but obviously you can make them closer together if you wish, or further apart, whatever you prefer. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the next one just so you can see exactly what I have done. So I'm just going to pop my hook back in here and grab my next shamrock. So I wanted to hang at the same angle, so I'm going to be going into the back of this little petal and the back of this one. So if I just flip around here, all I have done is just find the back of any of those stitches. So just insert the hook there wherever is easiest, and the smaller hook helps with this as well actually. And then I'll just grab my yarn and do a slip stitch, and that is the join done. And then I'll chain 4 just to get me over to the next petal, and then do the exact same thing there. So just inserting the hook as neatly as I can and just do a little slip stitch. And after that I just need to continue on, so I'll chain 15 and I have just kept those chains nice and tight, so I think it looks really neat. And that's all there is to it. All I need to do now is just continue attaching on my shamrocks until my garland is the length that I want it. So I really hope you have enjoyed making these little shamrocks with me. I think they are such a cute and quick idea for some St. Patrick's Day decor, or even to attach to your clothing as well. And of course, if you do have a second to like this video and subscribe, that would be absolutely amazing. Thanks so much for watching. Happy crocheting and take care.